Hello PE 551. This is my response video for week 2 on Common Core and physical education. The first question is to explain which of the Common Core resources you found on the Spark website to be valuable and why, and alternatively explain why none of it seemed valuable to you. So first, I just want to say that I think that the intent behind the Common Core standards is valuable in and of itself. I think that nowadays colleges are a little bit more strict and requiring a lot more of students and preparing students for the next step in their education, I think, is valuable because their focus is primarily on math and English. I think that it might be a little bit hard for educators in PE or coaches might find it a little bit hard to apply this, and so that first page actually gives a little bit of ideas on how you can incorporate these standards in a physical education setting. And the areas that I found were kind of interesting, and the things that I actually kind of use in my coaching practices are in the writing section. Part of what they were explaining was you can have students or athletes write down their goals and kind of monitor their progression as time goes on. But another one was health and fitness journals and home fitness projects. So just because it's in the writing section, it does have to be written down, but like just having students and athletes think of things like that and keeping a journal and logging things and making sure that they're more aware of not just the physical activity they're doing, but the nutrition aspect and how they're keeping their bodies healthy, I think is important. And a lot of times students don't really think about that, especially at a younger age, unless we're teaching that. So I think it's a good practice to be aware and to write those things down, and also come up with ideas on how you can stay healthy and active at home, so it's not just at school in your physical education class. So those were the pieces that I found to be useful and valuable. I was perusing through the website looking for resources in physical education, and it seemed as though every time I found any topic on physical education, I would click it and it would bring me to this page that it was pretty much it said like, oh, view this blog on different tools, tips, and ideas for your physical education class. And then it had a link for Shop PE. And on one hand, I thought it was really cool to have a place to go and a resource where you can find different ideas for your PE classes in terms of activities or like character building, or breaking the ice, or critical thinking, different activities that you may not have thought of. And then there's a place where you can purchase these games or equipment, things like that. So I thought that was kind of neat, but at the same time, I think that all of physical education was just kind of dumping you into that site. It was kind of like a go shopping for your PE class. Here's some equipment and balls and goals and stuff like that. So I thought that the resources for physical education in terms of the Common Core were a little bit limited to that. But like I said, the concept behind it I think is valuable. Me personally, in my setting, I am a water polo coach at a community college. So the student athletes I have already progressed beyond high school, and this is focused primarily on K through 12 students. So not that it's not valuable to me, because I think that the ideas behind it I can still use, but in terms of the educational portion, going to the next step, they're already in college. So moving on to the second question, how can you adapt your coaching or lesson plans to incorporate all components of the 4 C's? So the 4 C's, the first one is communicate. So what I like to do is schedule one-on-one meetings with all of my athletes. I think that it gives them an opportunity to talk to me personally about things or concerns. It also gives us a chance to go over their goals and how they want to improve, and maybe write down some new ones. But I think a lot of times in sports you don't get that one-on-one time, so I'm really intentional about cutting that time out for them, because I think it's important that they have a voice and that they're heard, and they have that opportunity with me. The second C is collaborating. So after each game or each tournament, I like to get the team together and let's kind of go over some of the things that we did well, some of the things that we didn't, areas that we can improve on, and give people an opportunity to kind of share ideas with the team and collaborate in that sense. Creativity. I think this mainly comes from my own creative self. So I really try and emphasize some team bonding. I think that it reflects in competition when your team can really do well together outside of sports. And so I try and do 1 or 2 things that, allow the team to get together and bond. And so one of the things that I came up with was a lip sync battle. And so we split them up into different teams, and they're given a genre of a song that they get to pick, and then we have this battle, and it's a whole lot of fun. But one thing that I think is really neat is that it gives them the opportunity to have those creative juices flowing in them as well, because they're judged on their costume, on their, whether they're singing the words and their dance and choreography and all these things. And so it gives them a chance to be like, ooh, how am I going to win at this? Like, how am I going to win the judges over by this costume? And last season, I was blown away by their creativity in that. So I look forward to the seasons to come and different ways that I can bring out their creative side in that sense. And the last one is critical thinking. So I like to change things up. I like to incorporate the physical aspect of training, but also make it fun and kind of intertwine them. And so one thing I've done throughout the season is I've had a couple practices where we do trivia, and depending on the time of year. So in the beginning of the season, we'll just do trivia on like water polo. How much do you know about water polo and women in water polo and things of that nature? And then later on in the season, kind of around Halloween, we'll do some fun Halloween trivia. And it does incorporate sprints and, collaborating with your team and figuring out what the right answer is. And so I think that allows their kind of brain to turn on and not just be in the sport mindset of physical activity, but also using your knowledge as well. So those are the ways that I have adapted those 4 C's in my coaching. And I look forward to learning more and being able to implement more. Sorry that this video is 9 minutes long, but thank you for watching and listening, and I can't wait to hear from all of you.